the conclusion of our program, and so we're going to have one final round of our lightning discussion. Each speaker will have 2 minutes, and then you'll have a chance to interact more. So we are ready for.
Good afternoon again. This morning, for those of you who were here, in my presentation, I introduced the efforts that University Outreach and Engagement has been making to promote, connect, and support community engaged research and the scholarship of engagement at NC State. That's moving faster than I'm talking. The presentation, this presentation on our poster number 15 describes what we believe is a multidisciplinary collaboration in a model of multidisciplinary collaboration in a primarily rural area that I and my colleagues, Chilin Pasilar with the College of Design, Duarte Morai with the College of Natural Resources, along with several other consulting faculty from animal science, vet med, agricultural sciences, and otherwise. We were engaged in this project over the past 2.5 years. The Southeast Equine Research and Education Partnership was a community-engaged participatory action research project with Isothermal Community College and the people, communities, organizations, and companies in the isothermal region of Western North Carolina. The approach we took was multidisciplinary and grounded in the scholarship of engagement. We engaged in a systematic process of partnership building, intentional and broad community engagement, and more directive research based on our particular disciplinary expertise. The goal was to build on the unique equine history, culture, and assets of the region to create a model that has the potential to enhance the regional equine-based economy in the area. What we came up with, along with the community, was a proposal for a Southeast Equine Community and Research Center, roughly based on this concept of One Health that integrates the well-being of humans, animals, and the environment. We have developed an integrated conceptual, business, and physical framework that provided a blueprint for NC State can continue to partner with the region to achieve a clear, inclusive, sustainable, and broad impacts. The center would include opportunities for university-level research, tourism, citizen education, community building, entrepreneurship, and workforce development that we are confident can provide opportunities for researchers within most, if not all, of colleges at NC State. Please stop by. Poster number 15. Since I got 2 of them over there, I might be at either one, but we welcome you.
No, wrong way. There we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Bill Rand. I'm an associate professor in the business management department in the Poole College of Management, specializing in marketing and the intersection of marketing with computer science. And I love this session. I love interdisciplinary work. I love it so much. I'm missing my beloved Spartans play basketball right now. But I really do embrace the interdisciplinary mindset. I have a background, as I mentioned, in computer science, PhD. I work in marketing, and I specialize in one of my most cited publications, actually in the International Journal of Geographic Information Systems. I have interest in complex systems and agent-based modeling, but what I wanted to present to you today was the idea that I'm really interested in understanding a big interdisciplinary question, which is diffusion of information on social media. How do people find things out on social media? What do they do with that information once they have it? And how do they pass that information on to others? And I'm going to touch upon 3 really quick projects that we're working on here. First of all is one called Combating Social Media Bots, where we're building tools using machine learning and statistical analysis to identify bot behavior on social media. And then we're interacting with users who actually interact with those bots, trying to see why they're interacting and potentially looking at interventions that would stop them from interacting with bots again in the future. And that work, I should mention, is partially funded by LAS. As I saw Allison sitting around in the back, there she is. So that work's been great and very fruitful in that space. Another project that we're working on is understanding image-based social media. There's been a lot of research on looking at how text-based social media propagates through how people process that information, but not much on extracting image-based social media. So in this case, we're using deep learning neural nets to extract concepts from image-based social media and then see which kinds of images are more likely to be passed on in a viral sense. Finally, this is a large project I'm doing with the University of Central Florida, where they're looking at influence hierarchies, and they're trying to simulate large-scale social media and try to simulate all of Twitter, all of Reddit, all of GitHub, for instance. And we're trying to understand how one user propagates information. So if you have an interest area that you'd like to study, subject area you'd like to study with regards to social media, I'd be happy to talk to you, and I'm at poster number 20. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rohan Shirvaikar. I'm an associate professor in the Industrial and Systems Engineering Department. And for the multidisciplinary part, I have joined an associate appointment in the BME department, as well as at the center at the Comparative Medicine Institute, which I recognize some other collaborators as well. So my group works on the manufacturing of tissues and organs. And I'm going to give you an example. So some of you, if you look at, for example, the knee joint, and I've put up a few pictures there, the current state of the art for treating a lot of knee joint injuries as well as diseases involves metal and polymer implants. For some others, it involves getting grafts or transplants from human or animal cadavers. So that's where we stand currently. However, a lot of the current solutions are not optimal in the long term. They work, but they are not necessarily the best. So where this multidisciplinary field of tissue engineering comes in is you can use living cells and biomaterials to create organs that mimic actual patients that can be used for replacements. So in my group, we use techniques such as 3D bioprinting, computer-aided modeling. We do using experiment land modeling work. We study the process material structure interactions. We do some work on non-destructive quality evaluation for a lot of these things, as well as testing in vitro as well as in animal models per se. So as you can imagine, a lot of this does need collaboration across basic sciences, across engineering, but it also involves practitioners and clinicians and surgeons in this process. What you're seeing in that video up there is an example of the knee meniscus. That's a tissue or organ that several of us at NC State are working together on, including Dr. Matt Fisher from the BME department, who's also here, and that's our poster number 21. But we are using multiple approaches and working with folks across BME, across the College of Textiles, the Nonwovens Institute, to kind of make these functional organs. So I'll be happy to answer any questions at poster number 21. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Marion McCord. I'm the Associate Dean for Research in the College of Natural Resources, and I come there by way of the College of Textiles and College of Engineering. So if anybody else here has been in 3 colleges, raise their hand. So I'm a poster child for multidisciplinary interactions, and today I'm going to talk about some work that I've been doing with a team that has been working together for 13 years. Composed of faculty from textiles, from natural resources, and from entomology. I also want to give credit to our postdoctoral scholar, Kun Luan, who's here, and you can meet at our poster number 22. Our goals here are to in this group are to work on sustainable approaches to protection from insects and insect-borne diseases. So just a few of the projects that we're working on. The first one is on protective clothing. We've been funded for 6 years by the Department of Defense to develop bite-proof, non-chemical, non-insecticidal protective clothing for the military. We currently have developed a model that predicts how different textile structures will perform in terms of bite resistance and comfort, and we have an Army combat shirt that's being tested in Alaska at a couple of different bases. We've also gotten a Chancellor's Innovation Fund work to look at how we can apply that same technology to things like maternity clothing to protect women from Zika virus, et cetera. In another twist, we've been working on plant protection. We're looking at how different textile structures can be used without insecticides, mainly for the organic market, to protect plants. And we found some really cool stuff, like plants that grow under these textiles grow like gangbusters. So we're still working on understanding that with some new folks. And we're also working on a novel bed net that's funded by the Innovative Vector Control Consortium. And we're doing some field tests in Africa. So if you'd like to learn more about what we're working on, please come to poster 22.
Good afternoon. I'm here to discuss METRIC, which is a shared resource core facility for advanced measurement science. We encompass magnetic resonance, mass spectrometry, and X-ray crystallography. We provide the university with access to state-of-the-art instrumentation as well as experienced staff members, which can all be seen on the slide here. METRIC is the Molecular Education, Technology, and Research Innovation Center. In order to get across how we differ from typical core facilities, I'd like to emphasize the education, technology, and research innovation components of METRIC. In terms of education, we offer training of students and staff on our instrumentation. We also offer workshops and symposiums, one of which is coming up soon on May 22nd in NMR and X-ray crystallography. I encourage you to check our website for more information and registration information. In terms of technology, not only do we have an investment in advanced platform technologies, we also utilize Mendix, which is a cloud-based lab management system that facilitates scheduling, billing, as well as data extracts that provide us with information with how many colleges, how many departments, how many PIs we are interacting with. Lastly, I want to focus on the research innovation component of METRIC. And that goes hand in hand with NC State's motto of think and do. We're not a traditional core facility that just takes samples in and churns data out. We think critically about each and every project that comes across METRIC, and we provide high quality data to facilitate groundbreaking research throughout many departments at NC State. I encourage you to stop by my poster, number 23, and I'll introduce myself now. I'm Allison Stewart, the lab manager for METRIC. Some of my contact information can be found here, and the QR code will take us to our website, which can also direct you to me. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Julietta Shirk. I'm a landscape architect. We do everything. Water, soils, plants, social, cultural, we try to attack everything. And we're trained to work with interdisciplinary teams. I am 100% associate faculty in the horticultural science department, where I teach grading and drainage, plant ID, planting design, hand graphics, computer graphics, and construction. So I do a lot of things, so I feel like I'm a Renaissance person. But my passion is democratic design or participatory design. And I've never partnered with a social scientist, so I would like to do that. My poster today is about work I did during my sabbatical, where I worked in Mexico with an architect to train students in the methodologies that I use for participatory design that are Henry Sanoff's methodologies that are very specific, that train the students on how to empower communities to envision their own futures. That's my passion. That's what I would like to continue doing amongst all my other stuff. And I'm beginning to develop more and more questions about impacts on community and their perception of the students' work with them. And I have 30 seconds to say that I just wanted to come and meet some folks, and I see some synergies and various ones here, so I'm poster 25. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, it's so loud. I'm Yuan Yao, and I'm assistant professor in the College of Natural Resource. My group developed decision support tools for industry sustainability. And specifically, we use a tool called life cycle assessment, which is a standardized method to evaluate the environmental impact of a product life cycle, starting from raw material extraction to the manufacturing, to the use phase, then to the end of life. And my group integrate LCA with different modeling tools to help people understand the environmental and economic implications of new technology in the manufacturing industry, and also optimize existing process. Here, I give the examples of 3 ongoing projects to demonstrate the interdisciplinary nature of my research. The first example is a project where we integrate the big data analytics with LCA to understand the distribution of carbon emission intensities of different products in the pulp and paper industry. And in the second project, we integrate machine learning with LCA to predict the life cycle environmental footprint of activated carbon, a material you can produce from diverse biomass. And the third project is my career project just awarded by National Science Foundation, where we integrate LCA with many modeling tools that are commonly used in other disciplines. Examples like a geographic information system and techno-economic analysis. And we use those tools to help different stakeholders understand the environmental and economic implications of producing biochar from different biomass and also using biochar in different food, energy, and water systems. So if you are scientists or engineers who are developing new science, new technology, new process, and you want to understand the potential environmental and economic implications, please come to talk to me at poster 27.
Hi, my name is Gavin Williams. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Chemistry. I've been at NC State since 2009, so this is currently my 10-year anniversary, which I'm very excited and happy about. My formal training is in the area of biochemistry and molecular biology, but after my PhD, I became much more interested in organic chemistry, and that's where I find myself today in the Department of Chemistry. The overarching goal of my research lab is to develop a genes-to-molecule synthetic pipeline that we would like to use to engineer microbes for the synthesis and diversification of secondary metabolites from other microbes and plants. So our genes-to-molecule pipeline involves characterizing and engineering genes, enzymes, enzymatic pathways, and whole living organisms. And our goal is to ultimately apply this pipeline for the manufacture and discovery of any small molecule. And so the key here is that while in the last few years, my research has focused on antibiotic synthesis and discovery, we can actually apply this pipeline to any molecule that can be genetically encoded, and it's completely agnostic towards the biological activity or application or target of that genetically encoded molecule. So we're focused on polyketides and terpenes and more recently alkaloids, but would really like to reach out and collaborate with other people across campus who might be interested in applications with peptides, biofuels, commodity chemicals, signaling molecules like the volatiles that we saw earlier, other antibiotics, biomaterials, defense molecules, crop protectants, herbicides, insecticides, anything you like. We'd like to work with you to access those molecules and to do new things with them. In my last few seconds, I'd also just like to mention that I'm the associate head of the Department of Chemistry. And so if I didn't mention an aspect of chemistry that you're interested in learning more about or collaborating with people, let me know. And I think I can put you in touch with people who can help. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Tobias Käser, or Toby, and here you see my lab. So I work in pig immunology at the Vets College, at the Vet College, in the Department of Population Health and Pathobiology. So in what we do, we want to use the pig as a model, as a large animal model for biomedical research, and we want to. So far we specialize in vaccine development. So on the right side, you see the standard animal models, what most people use to develop a vaccine. On the left side, you see the mouse. It is heavily used when you think of rather basic science. The advantages are that it's cheap, they have a huge toolbox, but the issue with mice is that they sometimes, the results obtained in mice don't translate very well to humans. So during vaccine development, before you go into clinical trials, you often use a secondary animal model. Many researchers use non-human primates. They are obviously very similar to humans, but on the downside, they are on the one side extremely expensive to work with. You have high ethical concerns, and most of these research labs are actually closing, which is now creating a bottleneck for vaccine development. So there's a huge demand for a new animal model, which can be used for translational research, and that's actually what we do. So we want to use the pig as a model to develop vaccines, and especially also to test vaccines, so that other labs who are developing all these vaccines have now a tool at hand that they can evaluate if it's actually efficacious and if it's creating an immune response. So the pig has a high similarity to humans. It's affordable to work with, and in former times, so let's say 15 years ago when I started to work with that animal model, the critique was always that we don't have enough tools. And we actually worked on that this is not the case anymore. We have now an adequate toolbox in a really biologically highly relevant animal model. So if you want to use a pig model, visit me at number 29. Oh. And then you will see all the details, what we can do with it. And that's basically it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tracy Ryder. I am an assistant professor in the School of Architecture in the College of Design. I'm going to talk a little bit about, some research, my research, here we go, with my partner in crime, Aaron Hipp, who is in the College of Natural Resources in Parks, Rec, and Tourism Management. So the partnership, what we're interested in looking at is the overlap of public health and the built environment. My background, architecture, we don't talk about things like health outcomes. So just using that term makes me feel very interdisciplinary from our panel, makes me happy. So we're interested in looking at how we can better use the buildings that we inhabit every day, because we spend 90% of our times indoors, to work toward actual health outcomes, and architects don't often do that a lot. So the project started, or the partnership started with a Robert Wood Johnson Foundation funded project. This is our concept model for what that looks like, looking specifically at how multifamily private developers conceptualize, strategize, implement, or looked at funding for health strategies in their projects. And so what we're interested in looking at is how do they think about health? Are they thinking about health? And how do they start to operationalize and implement those strategies? Because it's a Robert Wood Johnson Foundation grant, this is how, this is one of their models for creating a culture of health, and so we've modified it to fit our project. But what we're doing now that that grant is wrapping up, we're moving into different population types and different building types, so looking at K through 12, looking at community centers, looking at affordable housing or vulnerable communities, and how these types of environments, so there's a relationship, a proven relationship between home and health outcomes, when you look at schools and health outcomes, you can start to look at test scores and maybe absentee rates. But maybe if we can look at the 1 + 1, looking at those, how they synergize together, it could maybe be 1 + 1 = 3 or 4. And there's a lot of complexity that goes into both environments and public health. So hopefully there's a lot of opportunity for us to collaborate across all these different disciplines, anywhere from materials engineering to community outreach to education. And so that's what we're looking for. I'm at poster 30, which is conveniently across from the Designing Healthy and Resilient Communities board over there. So if you're interested, please come by and see me. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Christine Grant. I'm a professor in chemical and biomolecular engineering. I'm also Associate Dean of Faculty Advancement in the College of Engineering. Our poster, which you'll see coming up, is a collaboration between myself and Ashley Brown, who is a faculty member in biomedical engineering, and Olga Kakish, who is right back there. She is a postdoctoral student working in our laboratory who just finished her PhD in education. And so that's kind of our collaboration. So a quick question, how many of you have undergraduates working in your laboratories? Okay, how many of you have freshmen working in your laboratories? Okay, just a few. So this, our poster is actually about a new course that we developed called Special Topics, Research for Engineers. It's a BME course. It's a 1 credit hour course, BME 490. In the fall of last year, we had 13 students in the class, and we were only supposed to do it in the fall, but it went so well they asked us to do it again. So this semester we have 8 students in the class, and it's kind of an outgrowth of a mentoring incubator concept that I formed because I don't do active research in a laboratory anymore. In this course, the students learn how to identify a research mentor, propose a research plan, design objectives, research methods. We also had components where they had guest speakers, they toured labs, we had faculty come and present their work and get the resumes of the students as well. The outcomes from this were, or are, because we're still in the middle of it, that over 50% of the students who took the course last fall are actually in research labs in their second semester freshman year. The next steps we'd like to see is to engage faculty across the College of Engineering, campus-wide course possibly, and share materials with the folks who are going to be teaching it in the future. So we're really excited to do this work. We actually have a grant from the National Science Foundation to do mentoring and train the trainers, so we've done some things for graduate students and postdocs in one of the ERCs that you probably heard about earlier today. So come see our poster. We are poster 31. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lindsay McGowan. I'm here with my colleague Lena Leonchuk from the Innovation Studies Lab in the Department of Psychology. So the focus of my research is on program evaluation for large-scale team science and technology initiatives, particularly cooperative research centers and institutes. So I'm interested in using evaluation to understand, measure, and improve the processes and outcomes of cross-sector, meaning industry, university, and government, as well as cross-disciplinary initiatives and collaborations. I say cross-disciplinary rather than multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary because we know from the literature on the science of team science that disciplinary integration varies along a continuum, disciplinary collaboration varies along a continuum of integration across disciplines, and so those are points across that continuum. So these large-scale initiatives are complex. They involve a variety of stakeholder groups. They have an integrated set of objectives related to research, education, dissemination, and application to real-world problems. They need to be able to document and communicate their accomplishments, and they also need to understand what's working, what approaches to collaboration are working and not working. And so that's where program evaluation can help with telling success stories, as well as using evaluation feedback to improve outcomes. And so my group uses logic modeling and a variety of other mixed methods designs to evaluate the outcomes of these types of projects. We've used things like social network analysis, CV analysis, bibliometrics, economic impact assessments, and a variety of other things in our work with projects funded by the National Science Foundation. I'm currently the PI for the NSF IUCRC evaluation project. That's the Industry University Cooperative Research Centers program funded by the National Science Foundation. We've also used these approaches with projects funded by the USDA, the NSA, and NASA. So we would love to work with anyone who's doing large-scale collaborative team science. Our poster is number 33, so please come say hello.